Hello YouTube, I'm back and I hope that everyone is staying well and safe, especially during this quarantine fiasco, and I hope that isolation is not driving everyone insane at this point. Now this video I wanted to do in response to something I did on social media a couple of days ago. So if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that, you'll know that a couple of days ago I did an Edgar Allan Poe look. Purely for the reason because I was growing facial hair at that point, and before I got rid of it I wanted to, have a little laugh with it. And it seemed to have blown up quite a significant amount. So loads of likes, loads of comments, and loads of people asking me to recreate this look for a video. During the process of doing this look a few days ago, I was thinking about making it into a video, but by the time I set everything up and start from scratch, it would have been half a day wasted. So what I'm going to do, in a week's time, I'm going to see how much facial hair I can grow. If you know me, I hate facial hair, but I'm doing it for you lot. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to recreate the look, and I'm going to read out my favourite Edgar Allan Poe poem, which is Alone, and then I'm going to put a survey on my Instagram, very quickly and very briefly, of which poems you want me to read out, which is either going to be between Dream Within a Dream or Annabelle Lee. So I will see you all in a week. And here we are 1 week later. As you can see, I've got a decent amount of facial hair, which I really can't wait to get rid of. I don't know, just never been a big fan of facial heads. Guess it doesn't suit the facial structure, I suppose. So yeah, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to quickly go and get rid of the beard and all this other stuff, and laughably I'm going to look like I've just come out of Ron Jeremy's closet, so I'll be right back. And back, you have no idea how weird this feels. Freddie Mercury eats your fucking heart out right now. So anyhow, what I'm going to do first, I'm going to apply the foundation first, but because the sun's coming out a little bit, it's kind of affecting my skin a little bit, so concealer first, and once I've done that, I'm going to apply my foundation. Now, because Poe wasn't exactly pale skin as we know, because all we have to go are black and white pictures of him, I'm going with the best interpretation I can, so I'm just going to use a very thin base of my normal Illamasqua, and then I'm going to use a lightweight transparent powder, so it's not going to be exactly ghost white pale, but pale enough to recognise. So let's start with the face work. Now when I'm doing this, I'm not going to take such a big amount all at one time. Giggly. So what I mean by that is, instead of dabbing having a lot on the base of my blender, I'm going to take a very small amount just so that it spreads out and doesn't look too ghostly pale. Okay, and it's probably going to be a little bit more paler on the camera, so let's sort that out a little bit. So now I'm going to use the powder. So hopefully that has now balanced out the paleness a little bit, so it looks a bit more natural pale, I suppose. Okay, what I'm going to do now is, because obviously whilst applying that, it's probably went all over the facial hair, so I'm going to just very quickly thicken and darken it a little bit. I would have normally kept the moustache a little bit longer, or the facial hair a little bit longer, but because I said I would do this within a week, it hasn't grown as much as I normally let it grow out, so it hasn't got the length of it. So what I'm going to do for this one, I'm going to just very faintly darken my moustache with just a little bit of black. You want to make sure it's all blended, because otherwise, if you just end up slapping it all, you can tell where the additional makeup has been applied, so it's always important to blend out facial hair. Okay, that's as far as I got with the accuracy and level of it. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't miss any bits or make certain parts look darker than others, so that's why I wanted just to make sure. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to work heavily on Poe's eyelids. because if you look at a lot of the pictures, he had quite heavy bags underneath his eyes. So I'm just going to work on that, to use primarily browns and greys for that one. Use black if I have to get more defiance, but I'm going to try to avoid as much as possible and just use more naturalish colours. So the reason why I use greys on that one is just so we can get more of a defined shadow around it without going overboard with black. The brown I'll be using just so that I can get a lot more natural colours into it. So let me just finish up this eye and this eye, and then I'll add the brown. So what I've accidentally done is, because I used the same brush I did for my moustache, just so I can get a bit more of a defineness in the greyness. Unfortunately I pressed too much on that one, so I'm just going to quickly balance it out a little bit with a bit of white and hopefully it works. So I tried to salvage that one as much as I can. I'll work on it in a bit afterwards I've done this video. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use a very faint Nausea on this palette right there, just so that it breaks it up a little bit. And as you can see, I'm using a very tip of it. Okay, so kind of balanced out again. So I'm just going to add a dark brown now, just to break it out a little bit and just give that impression that obviously that he's been up for quite a while and very much a lack of sleep. So let's see how well that goes. So I'm going to use the Lannister red on this one. So I think that's as far as I'm going to get with that one. Now obviously because Poe had quite a puffy face, so there's no point in adding a lot of contour into this one. So I might just add just a very faint grey just to give off that type of dreaded persona. And there you have it as far as makeup goes. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go and get into my costume, and then I'll be right back. And I'm back! I then hope that this doesn't look too bad. So what I did was I just picked out a standard white shirt that I've got and lifted the collars, found my waistcoat. I know that Poe probably didn't have leather, but it's the only one which I could find, and obviously my big overall coat. As for this, because I don't have a cravat or a ascot tie, I had to unfortunately compensate with using some tights that I had, but it kind of gives off that impression of what he would traditionally wear until I do get a proper cravat. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to quickly check on my Instagram poll and see which poem has won the poll. And the winner is... Okay, it looks like the winner is going to be Annabelle Lee. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope that you weren't too bored with this transformation, and I hope that it has pleased you. I'm going to end the video now with my reciting of Annabelle Lee, and I hope that you have enjoyed this video. And I shall be back very, very soon without the facial hair. Bye! It was many and many a year ago, in the kingdom by the sea, that a maiden lived whom you may know by the name of Annabelle Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child and she was a child, in the kingdom by the sea. For we love a love that was no more than love, I and my Annabelle Lee. With a love that the winged cherubs of heaven converted her and me. And this is the reason that long ago in the kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabelle Lee. So that a high-born kingsman came and bore her away from me, to shut up in a sepulchre in the kingdom by the sea. The angels, half not so happy in heaven, and envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know in the kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love was stronger by far than our love of those who were older than we, or many wiser than we. And neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever the soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And the stars never rise but I see the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so, all the night tide, I lie down by the side of my darling, my life, and my bride, in a sepulchre there by the sea, in a tomb surrounded by the sea. And as I said at the beginning of the video, I'm going to finish with my favourite poem, Alone. From childhood's hour I have not been as others were, I have not seen as others saw. I could not bring my passions from a common spring, from the same source I have not taken my sorrow. I could not awaken my heart to joy at the same tone. And all I loved alone. Then, in my childhood, in the dawn of the most stormy life, was drawn from every depth of good and ill the mystery which binds me still, from the torrent or a fountain, from the red cliff of a mountain, from the sun that round me rolled in its autumn tint of gold, from the lightning in the sky as it passed me flying by, from the thunder and the storm, and the cloud that took the form, when the rest of heaven was blue, of a demon in my view.